now or never. Let's do it. Okay. I actually feel like I'm going to use these cards right now to kind of define maybe a situation or something. I don't know what it's going to say yet. But for whatever reason, these cards kind of seem like they're calling me a little more than those other ones. Also, hi, hello, if you're new here. I guess I don't do intros yet, is how I'll say that. These readings, they're just for me. If they work for you too, that's wonderful. And yeah. I feel the need to explain more, but I'm also working on not over-explaining myself, so I'm not gonna. Okay. And I feel the need to pull 2 of these for right here. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. I think I know how I'm going to read this. This is what I mean. Okay. Does anyone else feel like there's good things moving forward, but also you don't know what you're doing? Like, there's just a feeling of it's gonna be good. I don't know. But in the process of doing it, it's kind of like, what? That's kind of how I feel in this reading. Okay, so first of all, you have 2 success cards right next to each other, and it's kind of cool. I want to point out that they're both the 6, well, this one's the 6 of Wands, and this one's the 6 of Pentacles, but they both say success, which different decks often have different words to associate meanings. I think that's going to play into this reading, but I'm not quite sure how. These 2 together, it's like the moon and the star. You have past lives and hope. It's like hope from a past life, something like that. It made me think of like maybe there's this feeling that what you wanted from something before that hasn't come to fruition, it's almost like the feeling that the hope only lives in the past for that. So I don't know what that means yet, but I think that's going to be a part of this reading. You also have the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Wands right next to each other. And the Nine of Wands has this kind of like one wand standing strong in it. You have like symmetry. I think that's also going to play into it. Is like there's something you were before this happened. What is this though? See, it feels like there's something from childhood that was like a really big, just bummer. Almost like you know what it feels like specifically, and this could just be for me, is that there's like this missing connection with a parent, or there's this like that it never got repaired in the way that I thought it could. And it feels like really, I guess, like sad. But also there's like this acceptance around it. And it feels like before this happened, you had like a good start to life. There was something really beautiful about the beginning of your life. And then like this took place, and something's kind of coming from this section. It's coming from who you really are, what your original foundation was. But there's this thing that's happened kind of in the interim, and I don't really know what to make of it being right here. Maybe it's felt like this has been kind of a blockade of going from just like growing up, happy childhood, whatever, to now, whatever this is. I honestly don't know. I don't know right now. I think it'll come up, but it's like reignition of passion or something like that. Like letting passion be fully fledged, living in you after a period of having it kind of dimmed or dampened or muted, not taking priority because of some, whatever this is. Maybe a fallout with a parent, or a disconnect with someone in the family, or like a hope of, living in a certain way or with a certain person, and it just like not coming through. But it does feel like there's this inner urge to push through and keep moving from like, I don't know what to explain this as, but it's almost like you knew who you were before that, and then it like you knew like what's coming back to you as you kind of move forward in life, as you progress, as you age, is that you actually find that you knew yourself really well as a kid. Like all these things kind of are allowed to come back to you now that you really found like great and wonderful about yourself. And now like, and I think it's like feeding into your passions in some way. And it's almost like something else took priority where you just weren't able to connect with your passions or with who you knew you really were, or with these like good traits within yourself. Something else was taking the stage. Someone's issue has come out. Something has happened where you realize someone else in your family has had some kind of an issue, and now it is like so crystal clear that that is an issue. And now that you know that, it's like you're able to like kind of separate your entanglement with that. In the last reading, we kind of talked about, or no, 2 readings ago, I think, the February 29th one, we talked about how you could feel like disturbed by someone else's disturbances because they're not able to work with themselves or work through that energy for whatever reason. And then you walk around feeling disturbed, not knowing that it's just who you're around. It's just needing to set a boundary. There's certain things that we can do to kind of not take on other people's stuff, because when we take it on and we try to deal with it, nothing changes because it's theirs, you know? And when we take on our own stuff, everything changes because it's ours. You know, in a nutshell. This feels like you've identified the differences between you and someone else, and like someone else's issue, and you've been able to like identify and then separate from it. But now the challenge, and I do think it's a challenge, is to move forward in your own passions and like let them reignite and let them come back to you and like feel free again. Feel like, even though it's heavy and it's difficult to move through certain energies, you actually feel good doing it. Whereas before, you just felt like it was going too deep into someone else's world or something. I don't know. It's kind of that's just what I'm seeing down here. We have the Hangman. We have the 7 of Wands. I don't think I'm supposed to read those yet or read into them yet, but we will get there. So you've got Uranus in Pisces in the 10th house. That doesn't mean anything unless you want it to. Basically, on a spiritual level, actually, let's start with the physical and we'll build up. On a physical level, you're learning to invent a way to be a part of something overwhelming and become a person of power and status. That's what this is saying, is like this thing, for whatever reason, this like stain that it feels like is so overwhelming that it feels like, how could I possibly be great when there's always this like giant anchor attached to me? And what you're learning, or what you're inventing, is a way to be a part of something, is that you are a part of that. And that won't change. How you are a part of it might change, but that you are a part of it doesn't. But that does not take away from your ability to create anything you wish to create, especially when it involves your like what you find power and status in, what you value within, like what makes you rich in life. You're moving towards that. It says power and status, so maybe that's a literal interpretation. On a mental level, be open to new ideas about your realization of success. What is your vision of success? Because before it was that this problem would go away, right? Or that this problem wouldn't be the main thing anymore or something. Like before, I think success involved getting rid of this problem. And now that you realize you don't get rid of it, you just add something else to the equation, and you're allowed to, and you're encouraged to. I think success is going to be wildly redefined in your near future of, you know, how you apply your passions to like your kind of service to your world, or who you are and how you function in the world, not just in your own life, but like as a part of this world. I think that's kind of what I'm getting off of this. I want to know more about this success, but I don't want to run out of time. So in order to get through the rest of these, I want to just talk about that, and we'll come back to what's being redefined as success and stuff. Isn't that kind of interesting though? Is like we start here with this defined success, that like your passions define your success, the fact that you participate in them, the feeling you get from being a part of that, the freedom to let it flow and to not try to stop yourself because there's a stain somewhere else. Just like that innocence of just being who you really are and letting that be a good thing. Like letting the good come out and not trying to stop any of it. Because when you stop any of it, you kind of stop all of it. And then here you're learning to like utilize whatever that means to you as a way to go out and be somebody in the world, or earn your living, or increase your power and your status in some way. And this does say career down here, so I wonder if that has something to do with it, that this is a career for you. On a spiritual level, stir up the situation by using your dreams responsibly. Boy, if I don't know what that means. I guess we'll ask what situation, and I kind of want to look over here, and how to use your dreams responsibly over here. Or what is your dream? And maybe this is how to use it responsibly. What? Okay, maybe I just made that up. Let me backtrack. Stir up the situation. What is the situation? Okay, the situation is that you have a lot of energy to put towards something because you have a lot of inspiration right now to seek kind of your old self, or like your fluidity again. It's like taking off the mask, looking at the mask and going, I'm done dealing with all the things that you know, wearing that thing makes me want to look at. I'm just going to look at what's underneath all of that. And I might not like what I find, but I'm going to like how I work through it. It's going to feel good to work through it. I think that's the situation, is you're like, there's inspiration coming back to you that's giving you motivation and endurance and like momentum to keep looking inward and to keep looking at what is keeping you from kind of your own vision of yourself being successful. Your dreams. Okay, Lakewood's. We have Six of Swords, transition, and the Wheel of Fortune. Your dreams, mega change. Okay, you're somebody who I think like one of your dreams, I don't know, I can't tell you that it's like to, you know, do this or that, but what it is in alignment with is watching watching a giant change from point A to B, being like your motivation or your interests kind of hover around this idea that something could change so drastically, and that in this lifetime you believe that it can. And I think maybe that's why this hurt so much, is because it maybe didn't. It didn't have the chance to. It, you know, you cut it off, they cut it off, something happened. And it almost feels like maybe that's why it feels sad, is because this would have been a huge moment of change within your own life to see that kind of come through. And if it didn't, I'm sorry that it didn't. And that's, I guess, if that's the truth of your situation, then that's just a part of your story. Your dreams still hover around that desire to see drastic change in this lifetime. That could be wildlife conservationists. That could be healing family dynamics. That could be starting off in one financial tier, ending up in a completely different one. Whatever it is, it's just a lot of change. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what that was. Sorry, I think I got a notification. It's a huge change. And I think whenever you're a part of big changes, you're going to feel this scariness that it may or may not work out, but you're going to feel like every step you take in that direction is challenging, but that breaks through a new barrier, that where you're just like, this is like water to my soul. This is what I needed to breathe. This is like the essence of life to me. You know, this is what I'm just honed in on. And if I don't have it, I don't feel like I'm really here, or maybe like things feel like they don't really matter as much without that element present. I don't know, I'm getting kind of off topic. So stir up the situation of having all of this great inspiration and kind of creativity and this energy that's ready to go do something about having big changes that you can see in this lifetime for yourself, responsibly, with new vision than you had before, with a different perspective. It's by going towards something that I guess just like, you know what this is? It's not even going towards a specific thing. It's not stopping till you get there. It's trying thing after thing after thing until you know that you've reached that feeling. I think you're like 90 or like, 60% of the way to your goal, and you don't even realize that 40%, whenever I do math in my head, I always just like get really nervous that I'm gonna get it wrong, even if it's simple math. But when you look at this, I don't think you realize you're 60% there and you only have like 40% to go. I don't think you realize that this goal is going to be completed for you. You have all this creativity, you have all this inspiration, it's centered around big changes, point A to B, huge gap there. But how to responsibly do that and feel content in that and feel more like it's what you bring out into the world, into this world, as something that you're proud of, something that increases your power and your status. That's the rest of the 40% that's trying to happen. The path is already in place though. You're already on it. You've already been working at it. I think like, I don't know if this is like too weird to say, but the feeling that I'm getting is like to give up now would be such a drag. To give up now would feel like it just kind of be like you're mostly there. You know? I don't know what I want to say that like it's almost like to give up now would be sadder than whatever this situation is that felt like it was holding you back. Because in some way you overcame this. I'm like getting super preachy and I need to stop myself here. Responsibly just means keep trying in a way where it does influence what you put out into the world. Maybe that's your career. I have a feeling that it's going to influence your career more so than other things, because I think that is kind of what is going to affect your power and status, and that's where you'd see big changes from maybe an area of life that you have either given up on, or maybe not given up on, but kind of just been like how at the beginning of the reading it's like, well, I know I want to get there, I know it's going to be good, but I like don't know what to do right now. So this other one, the mental aspect, be open to new ideas about your realization of success. I want to pull a card from, oh, I'm going to do this again. You have the Empress, creativity on the bottom here. So I'm just going to pull a card for this to see what we need to just like, you know, hear about success and maybe how it's changing and whatever changes. Two of Pentacles. Okay, we're on the right path. Let's see. We got death, transfer. Okay, well, that's it. I'm going to read from this book. This is for this deck. I like to do this sometimes. It's just kind of mix and match, but let's see what this ends up saying. Okay. A sudden or drastic end to a major phase, relationship, or interest is near. However, it is important to remember that one door must close for another to open. Put the past behind you during this time of significant change and embrace new opportunities and possibilities. And letting go stands out there. Okay, wait, I'm going to read the Two of Pentacles because I don't quite feel like that gave me what I'm looking for. Where's Pentacles? Okay. Change. The Two of Pentacles serves as a reminder that ups and downs are inevitable and that they keep our lives from becoming stagnant. It often marks a turning point in a career, project, or relationship. Remember that the only constant in life is change itself. Balance, ebb and flow, yin and yang, natural cycles, and adaptability. I kind of want to read the Seven of Wands here, because what I think is happening is that the view of success that's changing is that it has to look a certain way in the end. The view of success that I think it's becoming is that you push through every up and down no matter what. You just keep going. You just never stopped living, like being a part of your own life. No matter how hard it gets or how happy it gets or how whatever, you never stop. I'll read the Seven of Wands and then I'm going to be done. The Seven of Wands represents the need to stand your ground and fight for what you've earned. The more successful you are, the more likely others will try to bring you down. Maintain control and defend your territory with grace, and remember to choose your battles wisely. Fearlessness seems highlighted here. So I think I'm going to leave it there. Half of me wants to like go do big things and the other half just wants to sit here and cry for a second. Oh, why am I like this? Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's all I got for you today. All right. Bye, guys.